Hi, and welcome to Walking to the Car. Our Sunday morning worship is over. As I reflect back on what we talked about in our worship service, reading from 1 John, that wonderful reading about God is love, and those who love God end up by nature loving their brothers and sisters. Love that passage. And one of the things we talked about in this sermon, in fact, the sermon title was Hypocritical, Judgmental, and Mean. Those are three of the four words used by Americans to describe the Christian church, according to a Pew Research study. And in the middle of the sermon, I had to admit there was actually four words that really stand out in that study. The fourth one was homophobic. But I didn't want to put that in the sermon title because I was afraid. I was afraid people would see the sermon title in the newsletter and online and think, oh, great, the whole sermon's going to be about human sexuality and all the difficulties the church is having with that. And because they would be afraid that would be the topic, they just wouldn't come to worship at all. Isn't it awful to have to even worry about such a thing? That there's a topic that we as Christians, people who follow someone who died and rose again, who faced death and anger and evil head on, that there is a topic that will cause us to even stop coming to worship God together because of the fear of the dissension that it might cause. God, I hate that. And those topics, those words that people use to describe, I mean, it's not First United Methodist Church. They weren't talking just about us. But we know that to be spiritually mature, we really need to stop and consider, is there anything of truth, even spoken wrongly maybe, but is there any truth in the fact that we might be described as hypocritical, judgmental, mean, sometimes? And the answer, of course, is yes. I mean, that's true for me individually. It's true for us collectively. We're so far from perfect. And so the challenge for us is to think in those times, when might we do better so that we're not hypocritical, judgmental, mean, but also to ask the question, what are the descriptions that we want people to use when they describe me, us, our congregation? I'd like to think they would choose loving, missional, caring, kind. But considering the fact that I had to change the sermon title, maybe the description that I would use to describe us is sensitive. And we need to get beyond that. We need to have the ability to talk about difficult subjects, even subjects on which we disagree, so that we can let Christ lead us, let the Holy Spirit guide us and transform us into those loving, non-hypocritical people. So let's be praying for the church. All the conversations that need to lie ahead in this coming year, let us not be overly sensitive. Let us let the Holy Spirit guide us so that we can speak to one another in love and grace. Have a great day.